Aloha, my name is Brenna Fowler and today we're going to sow ohia seeds. There are many ways to plant ohia seeds, but we're going to follow the seed sowing protocol by J.C. Watson from the Ohia Legacy. Let's start with the materials. We have potting soil, cinders, sphagnum moss, a pair of scissors, a pot or a tray with drainage holes, a spray bottle with water, and of course, ohia seeds. It helps to chop up the sphagnum moss. Sphagnum moss can absorb something up to 400% of its weight in water. So pour water over the moss and let it soak for a while. Now, your organic matter, in this case, potting soil, that will mix with cinder. Cinder will allow the water to drain out and lets those roots have the air they need to thrive. We'll mix these two materials together, about 50-50% soil to cinder. To test to see if you have the proper ratio, after mixing it, you're going to grab a clump, squeeze it, and if it falls apart, you're good to go. If it clumps, you need to add more drainage material. Next, fill your pot about 3/4 full, leaving enough space at the top so when you add your sphagnum moss, it's not overflowing. Spread the moss around and make sure you're covering all of the cinder and soil. Then take your knuckles and push the moss down to reduce the amount of airspace so seeds don't get lost underneath the moss. You may need to add more moss to fill any pukas or holes. Then you take a pinch of seeds and sprinkle them over the moss. There's about 25,000 in a pile of the size of a quarter, so you'll be sprinkling quite a lot over the moss. That's okay, because quite a lot are unfortunately not going to make it. Not all seeds are fertile, actually, and in ohia propagation, it's a numbers game. The last thing you want to do is water them in with a spray bottle. Spray a lot, like 20 to 40 sprays. Get it really saturated. At this point, they're a little sensitive. If you put them outside in the full sun, they're going to roast. If you put them in the dark shade, they won't make it. I like to put them in an area where there's good indirect light, maybe a windowsill. Anywhere it gets morning or midday filtered light away from heavy wind and rain. And finally, here's a pro tip. Be patient. Then be more patient. And eventually you'll have ohia cake.